Hello. Welcome to part two of Brenda on her first international flight. So, part two is basically from my onboarding the plane up to the landing and when I get picked up at the airport. At this point, we had already boarded the plane, as you can see, and I was trying to locate my seat. As it turns out, I did not know where to check for the seat number. I thought the numbers would be on the headrest. Honestly, I thought it would be a big number on the headrest, but since I didn't know and I couldn't tell from just observing people, I had to ask the guy walking behind me on the plane aisle, and he showed me that you check the number on the compartment, on the luggage compartment. And so I found my seat, and when I tell you that I am, God's favorite, I'm not kidding, because I got a window seat, guys. I got a window seat, imagine. I was so happy about this, honestly. Um, I thought I had actually booked the window seat when booking my ticket, but when booking the plane, but when I got my ticket, it was something different from what I knew I had indicated. So I was a bit anxious about where I'd end up sitting. That was my view from my seat. Um, I just want to say how underwhelming this photo was, because I see a lot of videos or pictures of the Kenya airline plane, and the wing has a bit of red on it, and it has the signature K on it, and it looks so pretty. But this was just plain white, man. I don't know. I felt like that was a bit underwhelming. But regardless, I buckled into my seat and then realized I didn't know how to open the safety belt. And this was me just struggling, trying to figure out where the button was that I needed to press so that it could unlock. Anyway, I figured it out eventually. Yeah, it's not on the video. And I ended up wearing Crocs on my flight. I wore them for convenience, like when I was going to the airport, just so I could be comfortable because I needed to do a bit of shopping in town. I just wanted to be comfortable in when moving around, but eventually I just had them on up to this point where I was in the plane. I had my rubber shoes with me in the bag, but I was so comfortable and relaxed in the Crocs, I ended up just going with the flow. And one thing I love when traveling is comfort. I love to be super comfortable. I'm not one to be in fitting denim pants when traveling long distance. You'll most likely just find me in very baggy pants and a light top and light luggage if possible. So, the plane took off at around 3 p.m. And being the first flight that I was on, we were advised not to have our phones off, to switch off our phones when the plane was taking off. And obviously, I obliged. So I didn't capture the takeoff. And by the time I was switching on my phone, we were already in the air. I managed to capture that moment where we were above the clouds, and the clouds just looked like a sea of white below us. And I was just mesmerized. Honestly, I was so happy at this point. I was so happy. I didn't want to sleep. I just wanted to watch to look out of my window the whole way, but yeah, I got tired, and I had a nice read with me, so I went on to read. I crossed my legs. That's one of my comfortable postures. And then something incredible happened. I didn't have like people on the row that I was sitting at. I was the only person on that row. I had three seats for myself. Oh my Lord. I was so happy, man. I was so happy because I could hop seats, like, my screen wasn't actually working, so I could hop seats and watch from the other seats screens, and I could stretch my legs, I could lie down, I could cross my legs, and I was so comfortable. I was so happy about this, honestly. And I actually didn't know you can watch movies on a plane, so I came very prepared with my laptop. I had downloaded a few series actually to keep me entertained, just, I ended up watching a series called Your Friends and Neighbors. It's a really interesting series. I enjoyed it a lot. This particular point, it was still very sunny outside, but I had dimmed down my window to let in little to no light, so it wouldn't like disturb me while I was watching and everything. So at this point, the air hostesses had already started serving. I was so hungry. So I was super distracted. I really was trying to watch whatever I was watching, but I was so distracted because I could just hear them behind me asking people what they wanted to eat. And I was waiting for them to get to me so that I could, get my food and get eating. I was just so hungry. I couldn't even concentrate. You can see me just trying to focus, trying to keep my cool while waiting for the food. Eventually, she got to my row and I got beef stew. I got beef stew. Well, the options are beef stew or chicken stew. I got the beef stew and orange juice. Some really nice orange juice actually. So, and they also had a bun, as you're gonna see in the photo coming up ahead. There was also a bun. There was a pack of vegan cookies, which I really really loved. I really really loved them. I actually wanted to ask the air hostess if they sell them so I could take some with me, but I forgot. After eating, I think I just slept and forgot about them. So this is the food that I had. That's the beef stew with some vegetable rice. On the side, there was some sort of cereal. I didn't actually know what that was and I didn't eat it. There's the bun, there are the cookies. There's also some bread spread and some cheese spread, which I enjoyed thoroughly. The cheese was so cold, and then I spread it on the bun and had it with the juice. It was so good. It was so good. I'm assuming it was good cheese. I think I need to zoom in on that label and check. But it was so good. So the best part of this meal for me was the bun with the cheese spread on it and the juice and then the cookies. And then the food obviously goes, I mean. So eventually after eating, I decided to just take a nap because it just felt perfect, after eating, you're on a flight. What else do you want to do on the flight? Honestly, I ended up just sleeping. By the time I woke up, it was already dark outside. This I think this is around 7 p.m. if I'm not wrong. I just woke up. It was very quiet and cool in the plane, except for like a few babies that were feeling a bit uncomfortable, so they're crying. I scrolled for something to watch and ended up watching this movie. It's called Charlie's Angels. It's a very old movie. I watched it when I was a child. I think I was even a preteen, I think. And I enjoyed rewatching it, honestly. It just felt a bit nostalgic. It was fun. Yeah, and I was just trying to buy time before, we arrived. Before I knew it, I could already see the lights below the plane, which was indicative that you're about to land. And I didn't know it at that point. I was just like, oh, okay, we are a bit low than I expected. And then soon we were already on the runway landing. The first landing was pretty smooth, I won't lie. I did panic, of course, because I did not know what to expect. But it took like very few seconds for the wheels to hit the ground, and then we were just moving smoothly on the runway. So I didn't panic for too long, thank God. And then we were out of the plane, and then we got on these buses which will take us to the airport building, for lack of a better word, where we needed to connect to the next flights. Well, for those of us who aren't, finishing their journey in Ethiopia. I feel like I looked a bit rough over here, but it's because I was super tired. And one thing about me, when I am tired or very sleepy, I'm gonna look annoyed most of the time. And people mistake it for actual annoyance, but I was just so tired. So I was trying to figure out where to go next after we got off the bus and we were at the airport building. And so there were these attendants at the airport who were shouting some word that I couldn't actually make out. And I was looking at them like, okay, what are they trying to tell us? Honestly, I didn't know if I needed to take the elevator up or not. So this guy in the green jacket written Ethiopian, I think they were trying to get people for a certain flight that was about to leave. So they were trying to like rush them to get onto their flight. And I said, I'll just follow everyone else. Everyone was getting on the escalator, so I did and decided I'll just ask about my flight from the next attendant that I will see. Excuse me, I need to get to Terminal 2.
Yes, terminal.
Yes.
Transfer.
Yes.
Okay. This yellow.
Thank you.
Is this?
I'm at the Ethiopian Addis Ababa airport. Going to my connecting flight to Nairobi. Home is closer than I think. The Ethiopian airport is huge, but I bet that's like a bit normal for most airports. It's huge, But unfortunately, there's nothing exciting about it. The only exciting thing was this piece of art just up ahead here on the left, and the duty free shops. They looked flashy, they had like very bright lights and everything, but other than that, the building was so huge and just bleh, just I mean, it's not like I expected a lot from the airport, but surely. Anyway, it looked like a huge sort of unfinished building, but that aside, we did a lot of walking just to connect to the next flight. There was a lot of walking. Once I had been shown like what way to go so that I could get my connecting flight. Yeah, I did a lot of walking, and this is a part where I'm usually grateful for my light luggage, honestly, because I do not like walking around with heavy stuff. I do not like walking around with heavy stuff. So I was glad to do the walk since I had been sitting like for a while. I enjoyed the walk rather. I appreciated that I didn't have a heavy bag with me, but regardless, I was just tired. I wanted to get to the next flight and just get home at this point. Eventually, I got to where the boarding gates were, and there were so many people. Oh my good lord, there were so many people. Some were even seated on the floors. There were so many people here. I just headed to my boarding gate where we had to queue for a bit before they opened the gates, and then we were able to board our planes. This time, the plane was slightly smaller than the first one, and I had the row occupied, fully occupied, which is okay, honestly. I'm not complaining. I just had an hour on this flight to get to Nairobi. Also, I'm going to point out how I got a window seat again. Again. Okay. So I really had no reason to complain about anything. I got a window seat. The other passengers on the row I was sitting on were really good people because they kept the whole ride, and there was no drama basically. So here I tried to capture anything and everything from my seat, and it was mostly other planes. That's the view I had from my window. It was mostly just other planes. I think they were waiting to take off and stuff like that. Also, I realized that we were going to use just one runway for all the planes that were going to take off. We were supposed to use one runway. So there's a point actually where we had to wait for a couple of planes to take off before we could get on the runway and take off. So we had a couple of minutes just, moving slowly. The plane would move slowly after one plane took off, and the other one would move up ahead, and then we'd move slowly, and then the other one will take off, and then we'd move forward a bit until it was our turn to take off. And here you're just going to see a few photos or rather videos of some planes taking off. Yeah, so that's what was happening. We had to wait for a couple of planes to take off, and before we were able to get on the runway, and put the pilots positioned the plane, and then we were ready for takeoff. So I'm just gonna leave this to play out, so you can hear the plane gain momentum before it takes off, and also see. Also to note, this time I didn't switch off my phone. I was like, I need at least one video of takeoff and one video of landing. So I kept my phone on the whole time so I could record this part. Enjoy. Tell me that this is not a beautiful view, and I know you'll be lying. So yeah, we took off eventually, I think at around 12 a.m. and the flight didn't take too long. It was basically an hour flight from Ethiopia to Kenya. They did serve us food. Yay! I was so happy. I love eating anyway. I was so happy. I love food. I was so happy. They did have the vegan cookies again. They did have the same cheese that I had enjoyed on the previous flight. So I was glad about that. And here I did capture the landing. So here goes.
በደህንነታችሁ ጥንቃቄ ሲባል ቀበቷችሁን ታጠቁ የሚለው ምልክት እስከሚጠፋ ድረስ የመቀመጫ ቀበቷችሁን ተታጥቃችሁና እንደተቀመጣችሁ እንድትቆዩ እንጠይቃለን። ማንኛውንም ኤሌክትሮኒክስ መሳሪያ ለመጠቀም ሆነ ሲጋራ ለማጨስ የተነበረና የተፈቀደ ቦታ እስከምትደርሱ ነፃነት መስጠትን እንጠይቃለን።
I had my heart in my throat. It was a bit rough. The plane was shaking so much. It was a smooth landing, but it was a bit rough, if it makes sense. You could even hear it. But we did land safely. I thank God so much. Whoop whoop. I was so tired. Hence I looked annoyed. And I enjoyed a brief view of the Kenya airline plane. If you did see it, it's a very, very pretty plane, honestly. And I pray that my next flight is gonna be through KQ. At that point, we headed to get our passports stamped, and then we were off to the luggage claims. I took my bags. Then I was out of the airport to try and locate my family, so that eventually I could just go home. I was so tired. I was excited, obviously, back at home, yay, but I was too tired to even celebrate anything other than the safe landing, obviously. So yeah, soon I was out of the airport. This is the view from my sister's phone. She was recording the moment before we met. See, I had carried rubber shoes with me. I don't know why I decided to wear them when I got off the plane. I think I wanted to look presentable when I was meeting my family. So the boy I'm carrying is Leo, and the one who was pushing the bags is Curtis, the one I was taking so many photos and videos of the planes for. He loves planes so much, and that's my dad. He drove everyone to come and pick me up at the airport, and everyone means my sister, her kids, and their auntie. Yeah, so finally I got to Nairobi. I was excited, I guess, to be home safely. I was very grateful to God and grateful that my family all came to pick me up despite the odd hours. It was literally 2 a.m. when I met them outside of the airport, and then we went home. Yeah, and that's it for my first international flight from Cape Town to Nairobi. Stay tuned for more. Ha ha ha. Bye.